Welcome to The Haunting Truth, everybody, a podcast that delves into supernatural, history, and true crime. This week, we're going to dive into something a little bit different. We're going to be diving into a legend. So every year before dawn, thousands gather in the darkness. They stand in the freezing cold and they're waiting for something legendary. They're waiting for a celebrated yet very visible cryptid, in my definition, in North America. And the definition of a cryptid is an animal whose existence or survival is disputed or unsubstantiated. And what I am talking about is a groundhog. Now, you're going to say, how is a groundhog a cryptid? It's not just any groundhog. It's 140 years old and he can predict the future. Yes, I am talking about the one, the only Punxsutawney Phil.
For everybody who's listening and not watching on YouTube, I am purposely moving over to the side so you can see our beautiful groundhog over here.
Punxsutawney Phil.
And he looks like he's lived 140 years and has no time
Yes.
for anybody's
He
BS.
stands on business. Okay.
He looks like he's getting ready to cause some damage.
Oh, he is predicting the future.
I done
Now,
told you.
I told you what the weather's going to be for the next 6 weeks.
Don't question me and
So,
don't make me get out of my hole. I'm trying to sleep. That's what I get. That's his vibes. Okay.
oh, it's
Back to
totally
you.
his vibe. Now, if you've never been with us before, I am Jen, and as always, my hostess and the mostess here is Woo.
Uh-huh. Not
And just
coming
so
to
you
you from
know,
Gobbler's Knob. That's Jen.
not, no, I'm coming from Gobbler's Knob, apparently. So, this episode explores folklore, supernatural, American legends. It is for entertainment purposes only. Please do not take any of this as gospel, because this is only, as I said, for entertainment. Now, what most people don't know about our legendary Phil is that his story began a long time ago. Most people know about Punxsutawney Phil. They pull him out of his hole. He tells about if there's going to be 6 more weeks of winter or if there's going to be spring, but they don't know the lasting legend that has been going on for 140 years. Now, the story starts long before cameras, before tourists. It stretches all the way back to Europe for
Really?
centuries. People
Okay.
believe that February 2nd held special power. It marked the midpoint between winter and spring, and ancient traditions claimed that the weather, if it was sunny, the winter would linger. And if the skies were cloudy, spring would arrive early. Now, in parts of Germany, villagers watched hedgehogs emerge from their dens to predict the season ahead.
I did
So
not
when
know it
German
came from Germany.
immigrants,
That's
yeah,
cool.
when they arrived in Pennsylvania, they brought this belief, but there was one problem. Pennsylvania doesn't have hedgehogs. So another hibernating animal was chosen, which is the groundhog.
He looked super happy to be selected
Oh,
for
he's
that too.
super, super excited to be
Why is my
selected.
silhouette the same as this ground? Sorry, I'm distracted. Wow.
Yeah,
That's good though.
yeah. And now it's always good to know. So, how did this come about? Like, how are you so bored that you decided to do this? So, let me tell you a little about Punxsutawney. Okay. So, in the late 1800s, a small Pennsylvania town embraced this tradition. The town of Punxsutawney, which is it's Lenape. So it is a borough in southwestern Jefferson County, and it is about northeast, I believe, of Pittsburgh. Now,
Mhm.
the Shawnee Wigwam villages occupied this site around the Mahoning Creek, and it was the first settlement that included non-Indigenous people that was established in 1772. But when Reverend John Edwin and a Moravian church missionary arrived with a band of 241 Christianized Lenape, swarms of gnats plagued early settlers, their
No,
livestock for years, and are blamed by Edwin's failure to establish a permanent settlement there.
due to
Because of the
gnats?
clouds, yes, clouds of gnawing gnats drove the indigenous people away.
I mean, I can see how that would drive somebody crazy. Gnats are
Now,
horrendous.
yes. So the indigenous people called the insects punkies, which is living dust or ash, which made the village called Punxsutawney, which is the land of the punkies, which then is now present day Punxsutawney.
The land of
Y-
the gnawing gnats.
Yes. Yes. That is what Punxsutawney derives its name from.
Okay, so real
Yeah.
quick, my nephew loves sprunkies, and I feel like that relates to what you just said. It's also reminiscent of gnawing gnats. So,
Hmm.
yeah. Mm,
Yeah.
I don't, that's not going on a
Yep.
billboard anywhere.
No, I don't believe it is. And there's another, so
That's,
there is another legend of the origin of the term punkies. It concerns an old indigenous sorcerer slash hermit who's said to have long terrorized the indigenous people in the territory. So eventually he was killed, his body was burned, and his ashes were cast into the wind. So according to the story, the ashes transformed into these infested gnat swarms. Yes. So that is another origin story of how this happened.
I've never heard of that, but I kind of feel like if somebody was going to kill me and like burn me coming back as a swarm of gnawing gnats would be apropos and be right up my alley. I would love that.
Now, as I said, the area was originally settled by the Lenape, and the name that they have, so it's a little bit different than the Shoshone, is translated into town of sandflies or town of mosquitoes.
Which is
Not any better.
way better
Not
than
any
the gnawing
better.
gnats.
Yeah. So the Shawnee and the Delaware left Pennsylvania and settled in the Ohio by the end of the American Revolution. So that means that the settlers decided to settle this area. Now, for them, apparently they drained the swamp and made sure that they got rid of the gnats before they decided to establish Punxsutawney. Now, in the 1840s, it was just a village about 15 to about 20 dwellings. By the 1850s, it exploded to about 256, but then by 1907, it was about 9,000 people. But by the like
That's
1850s,
crazy.
mining opened up. It had supplementary factories, brickwork, glassworks, tanneries, foundries, machine shops, flour, feed, silk mills. But one thing was missing, and that was something for the boys to do. So around 1885, the local hunters and businessmen decided to become the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club. And in
Oh,
1887, they staged the first official Groundhog Day celebration. And the ceremony was held at a place called Cobbler's Knob. And a new legend was born.
I feel like there's many legends that came across from the name of Gobbler's Knob.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like that is definitely a thing. So,
S-
yes,
So I was just thinking for our international listeners that aren't as familiar with some of America's better things
more,
that we
yeah,
do, folklore or
yes.
whatever. Um, this is Groundhog Day is an actual day on
Yes, it
February
is.
2nd.
Yes.
Cobbler's Knob is an actual place.
Yes, it is.
Punxsutawney Phil is an actual animal, and they have a very large televised ceremony
They
where
do.
they bring him
Where
out.
people watch. Yes.
And I will leave it to that, but just don't doubt what she's saying is true because it is very much a very kitschy
It
U.S.
is.
Tradition.
And
'Cause,
I
yeah,
have family members because we're not far from Pennsylvania. I have family members that have gone to see Punxsutawney Phil on
do
Groundhog
they
Day.
dress
It
up
was
when they
on.
go?
So they've only gone one time and they were
Okay,
like, it was just an experience they wanted to check off the list kind
yeah,
of
I would
thing.
go. Yeah,
Yeah. So for
I would
those of
go.
you, as we said, that do not know, so most groundhogs live only a few years in the wild.
Mhm.
Yet the caretakers of Punxsutawney Phil tell a very different story. According to the legend, there's only been one Phil. The same Phil since the 1880s. How, may you ask? Well, the inner circle claims that Phil drinks a magical elixir of life.
He's a vampire.
Yeah, he's a vampire. That's why I said he's a cryptid. A secret potion administered each year.
A
Okay?
secret potion?
Yes. One sip, they say, extends his life another 7 years because groundhogs traditionally live 7 to 10 years. Of
Okay.
course, everyone involved knows this part of the folklore. So anybody who's a part of this groundhog club, Punxsutawney Groundhog Club, is aware of this, right? So they all know about it. But what makes the legend most powerful is not because they believe it's true, it's because the people want it to be true.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
It reminds me of like Skull and Bones, like Mason type secret
Look, it is the best
vampires.
thing. I mean, they have certain garb. So,
Oh
as I
yeah, you got
said,
to talk about that. If you didn't bring it up, I
yeah,
was gonna bring it up.
no, the certain garb. So, on February 22nd, before the sun rises, Phil emerges from his burrow on Cobbler's Knob. Members of the Groundhog Club gather around him wearing black tuxedos and top hats, so they look like Abraham Lincoln. They
Very
claim
formal.
to speak a language called Groundhogese, and only the language Phil can teach, a language they can only interpret.
I didn't know they had its own language.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, oh yeah, has its own language. That's why I say he's
Okay.
a cryptid. He has his own language. He lives forever. He is the Count Dracula of groundhogs. Um, but he also can predict the future. He has
Yes.
powers as well. So, and
Hmm.
then comes the announcement. If Phil sees his shadow, winter continues for another 6 weeks. If he does not, spring will arrive early. Now, the prediction echoes around the world. Television stations report it, newspapers print it, millions hear the verdict. Yet there's one problem. Phil isn't particularly accurate.
As with like any weatherman.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, so historically, and historical analysis places his success rate at under 50%. But I'm going to say most of the time, the weather gods or weather people that
Yeah.
we have that have actual like meteorological, instruments and everything else, they're less than 50% accurate most of the time. So, I mean, Phil's doing pretty good here.
I think he's hanging tough with
He's
whatever.
hanging tough. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I still have faith in him at this point, and that's what most people have. They're
Yeah.
not really concerned about the accuracy. It's more about the tradition and the pomp and circumstance that goes along with it. And for decades, Groundhog Day remained largely regional, but then came 1993. And I think you know where I'm going here. A film called Groundhog Day, starring Bill Murray, transformed the celebration forever.
I'm so glad you said that, and I am totally gonna put this in for our YouTube recording before I post it on YouTube. So I'm gonna add in a picture of Jen and Bill Murray in this
Oh,
one.
and can we please put the part where Phil is driving the truck?
Oh no, I was talking about the picture we took in Milford, New Jersey, where you were
Oh
like, oh, with
yes.
Bill Murray yourself, like you and Bill Murray.
Yes.
I'm putting that on there. Y'all can listen,
That
see it
that is
if you haven't seen
that
it.
is
I'm gonna put it on
amazing.
there.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
Now, the movie introduces millions to Punxsutawney Phil.
Hmm.
Tourism exploded, crowds grew. What had once been a quirky local tradition became an international phenomenon. Today, tens of thousands travel to Cobbler's Knob to witness the ceremony firsthand. Now, as I said, most of you know I'm from Appalachia and I have family, and so does my significant other has family. Mine is from Pennsylvania. I like to call it Pennsyltucky. And I've known about Groundhog Day since I was little, and we would wait for the groundhog to tell us what the winter was going to be like. I would literally get a phone call in my house from my great uncle to tell us what Punxsutawney Phil said.
That's funny.
So,
He said spring's coming. Get ready to like plant
yeah.
some stuff. Block off that weekend.
Yes,
We got stuff to
yes.
do.
Uncle Roger would give us that call and we would find out what was
My
going
God.
on.
I had an Uncle Roger too, and he was a mountain man as well. Are we related?
Oh, oh, we might be.
So we're gonna have to sync up after this because my
I
Uncle Roger
know.
was like, yeah.
Mountain Man, middle of nowhere. Yeah.
He
Yep.
was most definitely off the grid, smoked his own cheese, stole
Oh
cable from the
yeah.
neighbors. Like, yeah, no
Oh, he
running water in
they
the
didn't have
house.
any. Well, they didn't have any neighbors, so his whole family lived on the mountain. He bought all the property and
Okay,
everything
well, he
else.
was on the
So,
mountain, but he like ran it over to his neighbors. But they had no running
yeah,
water in the house, and yeah, we might actually be related.
yeah.
But I
Uh,
did not get the warning. The groundhog is out. Get ready to do some
oh, you
work.
didn't get the wording? Oh, it was awesome.
I
It
was
was
too far. I
so
was too
awesome.
cityfied.
No, I would get the phone call. We would get the phone call and just let us know what was going on. He would have to go into town to make the phone call, but we got the phone call. So,
Phil is still not having it. He's like, why did you wake me up for this business?
Oh, he is
Why?
not happy about it. Now, perhaps the most fascinating mystery isn't Phil predicting the weather, it's why we watch. So, in an age of, as I said, satellites, radar, supercomputers, climate models, people still gather in the dark to hear the ground, like thousands to hear his prediction.
Thousands.
Maybe because Phil represents something deeper, a connection to old traditions. You know, I love me some old traditions. A reminder of winter that doesn't eventually end. Oh, I hate when he sees his shadow and runs away. And a story passed from one generation to the next. But perhaps that's why the legend survives, not because people believe a groundhog controls the weather, because they believe that stories matter. I mean, let's be honest, some guys were really bored in 1885
That's
and decided to
true.
start this club. And now today it is an international phenomenon.
It is. I think he represents hope. Hope that
Yes.
the darkness is going away, that sun is coming soon. Like, please, sir, tell us it's going to
Yes.
end is kind of what I get from it.
I
And
mean,
I'll tell you, like, I used to never pay attention to him. I actually watched the whole ceremony this
I
last
did.
year. They had the big
I watched it all the time.
stovepipe hats, and they had to roll out
Yes.
the big scrolls and read from them. And I was like
Yes.
amazed at the ceremony that goes
I
on there.
watch it like almost every year, and there is a
Oh,
countdown. So I did
yes.
include in the link the website so you can see the countdown of when
Hmm.
it's going to come back. But
Hmm.
I mean, at the end of the day, for nearly half a century, or a century and a half, I should say, Punxsutawney Phil has emerged from the shadows, sometimes predicting winter, sometimes predicts spring, but he's always continues to be this legend. You know what I mean? Some
Yes.
people believe that he's prophetic or he's a mascot or he is just the world's most famous groundhog, which he is. One thing is certain, every February, the world waits. And somewhere in the darkness of Pennsylvania winter, a legend wakes up.
Yeah. And I highly recommend if you've not seen the ceremony. They kick it off like way, way early in the morning, and it's like an all
It's
day
like
thing.
4 o'clock in the morning.
You need to. There is music and chorus and scroll reading and
Yes.
costumes. And for the 5 seconds it takes them to pull
Yeah,
put him
I know.
on the log to look at whatever, it's a whole thing. I loved it. Yeah,
And
this
I
was the
did
first
put
year I
real,
watched it.
yeah, and I did put real pictures, and he just looks
That's
just
awesome.
as angry. I'm going to let you know. Like, I did not embellish it in any way, shape, or form. Um,
It's just like you're trying to sleep and like people are like pulling you out and putting you out in front of a crowd and like, what do you see? I'm gonna chew your face off,
I
guy.
know, and he
That's
has
what I'm
not
gonna
like
do.
bit anybody, which I'm so shocked about at this point. I'm
I mean,
like,
after
I would have,
140 years, you're probably like, oh, this again. Okay,
all
fine.
right. Like somebody whispers groundhoggies, and he just lets him know, you know.
Can you get a? I want to translate
Is that
groundhogese.
is that like a college course you can take?
I'm wondering if it is. I'm gonna take a look and see if I can. I bet you it is in
I mean,
Philly.
well, it's probably up in like
Some
Pittsburgh or
town in
something.
Pittsburgh and Philly or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in
Yeah.
Pennsylvania they have groundhog. Probably in Punxsutawney, like community college.
The land of the flying gnats or the
Yes. Or the sandflies or the poison vines. I mean, there's
totally
several.
selling it for me. I wonder if that's on the license plate. Like it's
But but they drain the swamps and now there's no more clouds of gnats. So
sure.
that's what they're
Sure.
selling.
Okay.
They're
I'm
they're
gonna buy
selling
that like some snake oil.
I know, they're selling a legend and you get to go to Cobbler's Knob, you know?
Okay. I mean, I would go.
Yep,
I want to
I
meet
would.
Phil.
I do. I think
He
it's
seems
pretty
like he'd be pretty
awesome.
chill after all this.
He does. He seems very like austere.
He does. This is not a flattering picture of him. Like he's kind of terrifying, actually. Kind
I
of hanging
mean,
in my corner here.
I told you he is set on business.
I got stuff to do. I got to predict your
I'm good.
demise for the next
I'm gonna
six
pre
weeks.
I'm gonna predict your future and then you're gonna put me back to bed.
I want to go take a nap. Leave me alone
And I would
in peace,
highly recommend
please.
watching Groundhog Day. So if anybody doesn't know the
You should
preface
watch
of
it.
Groundhog Day, you should watch it. It is about Bill Murray. He is a broadcaster and he is stuck On that day, continuously, every time he wakes up, it's Groundhog Day again.
He's reliving the same day with the same
Over,
steps and the same
yes,
thing over and over
over and
and
over.
over again. Yes.
Yeah,
I
I
might
would
actually have
highly,
to watch it tonight.
and it has Bill Murray and Andy McDowell, which she is one of my favorites.
Hmm.
So I would highly recommend watching it.
So, in the comments, y'all, if you can leave a note that you've seen it, you like it, don't recommend it, whatever, let us know
I have to
because I think
say,
it'll be
one of my
fun.
favorite scenes, it's supposed to be like very touching, like eventually the movie is and
Just made
everything
you
else.
laugh.
It did. So my favorite part is Phil it like Bill Murray's character being drunk and letting the groundhog drive the truck. And he's like, "Don't drive angry. Don't drive angry." It's like one of my favorite parts.
I love it.
It's the
He's so
best.
funny.
Hmm.
He's so funny.
Absolutely. So I hope you guys enjoyed this cryptid episode is what I'm going to categorize this as.
I think it's a nice
Punxsutawney Phil.
follow from the last heavy one that you did. So
Yeah.
this is a
Yeah.
nice balance for that
Oh
one.
yeah. Absolutely. I needed to turn this one around at this point. Kind of right the ship, you know what I
Can't be
mean?
dark all the time.
All the
Yeah,
time. I
but
can't be the Debbie Downer. So-
that's good.
But
No, this is a good one.
if you like, subscribe, please enjoy this episode. Let us know your thoughts on it. We definitely want to hear from you. And if you have actually gone and seen Punxsutawney Phil,
Oh, yes.
please let me know because that is definitely on my list of to do. So
Yeah.
I definitely need some advice on how to dress, what to do, all that other good stuff. A good place
S-
to stay that's not going to drive me insane with all the crowds. That would be helpful.
Stovepipe hat, black
Stovepipe hat.
jacket.
Dude, Abraham Lincoln all the way. That's what I'm doing.
Yep. I think you should do the beard too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty tall,
And
so
if
I think I could
y'all are
pull it
not,
off.
if you've not gone and you're interested in going, let us know that too. Maybe we'll
Yeah,
meet up with you.
that could be
Yeah.
a good field trip.
It would be a good field trip.
It would.
Maybe we can get Punxsutawney to like hold up a sign. Haunting truth.
Yes. Maybe we can put it like
It's
right
going to be in
over
early
the,
spring if you listen to the Haunting Truth. If not, y'all can rot in the winter.
yeah.
That's what's happening.
Awesome.
I'm going to bribe him. That's what's going to happen.
Yes, that's what's gonna happen.
All righty. Well, thank you for bringing this. This was a fun one. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think that's it for
All right.
me. So,
All right,
all
true
right.
seekers. Well, we will see you next week.
See ya. Bye.
All right. Bye.